So hello, I'm Dave Hill. I'm at Essex County Council. I'm the Director of Children's Services there. I'm also the Director of Adult Services, so it keeps me pretty busy. I'm responsible for commissioning everything for people at Essex. And so I was going to tell you a bit about the Essex story, and in particular I want to talk about early intervention, both in the early years and early intervention generally, which is a thing that Essex has invested in very successfully. I guess there are two things that I really want to convey in this short piece to you. The first is that it seems to me, from a sort of human perspective, services that go to people earlier, that support people to be in their own families, that allows people to stay together, work on the resilience that families have naturally, is a really good thing to do. As it happens, our experience here in Essex is that in terms of the finance, in terms of the money, actually it's a win-win, because if you get it right, you can both save some money, and we're all pretty short of money just at the moment, but also you can improve the quality of the services too. So unusual that you get both things coming together. What have we done in Essex? We've stopped having as many services that do firefighting. So for instance, we've got 500 less children in the care system than we had 3 years ago. So how did we do that? Well, we worked really hard at services that tried to identify the earliest signs of a problem, and we intervened or supported families to be able to kind of work together to be able to keep their children in the community. Often when they came into care, we did just as badly as the parents did before, and so we've just kind of naturally recalibrated that work. We've saved about £30 million. We've reinvested £10.5 million of that money into early support and early intervention. A lot of that has gone into early years, and we've worked up a lot of stuff through our children's centres. We have a project that is funded through social finance that supports people, again, to stay in their family. We use something called multi-systemic therapy, working with the whole family, looking at the issues for the parents, for the child, for the young people. And as a result of that, as I say, we've reduced the numbers of children in care by 500. We've got about half the numbers of children on child protection plans that we had 3 years ago, and we've invested very heavily in early intervention. We see the thing as a windscreen. Some people use that approach, so universal, targeted, specialist, and then the sort of high intervention stuff like child protection and children in care. And we tried essentially to push money back down the windscreen. So we've tried to push money into universal services, through schools, through youth services, through children's centres. We've tried to push as many people back down into targeted and specialist, and we try and have the least amount of people needing to access the very high tariff services like child protection and children looked after. The money, well, as I said, for every child in care that we don't have, that's £65,000 per annum saved. So 10 children, that's 650,000. You can do the maths, 100 children, that's 6.5 million. We've taken out 500 children out of the care system. We've not just done that randomly, we still offer those families lots of support in the community, but we've reinvested at a ratio of 1 to 3. For every pound we've saved, we've reinvested 33p in early intervention and prevention. By having 10 less children in care, I can fund a whole early intervention service. Why would you do this? Why would you do it now? Well, you do it because it's a good idea for the services and for the families and the people we serve. You do it because actually it's a way of saving money. And why would you do it now? Well, money is more difficult than it's ever been in local authorities and in the voluntary sector and so on and so on. And so I think if we don't do it now, we'll never do it. And maybe previously we invested in services that we thought were the great ideas and all the rest of it. But actually what we've got better at is being more evidence-driven, more research-driven about what works best, and we're only investing in things that really make a big difference. Whereas perhaps before we invested in some things on a wing and a prayer, and they maybe didn't always deliver the things that we wanted.